Good evening. Welcome to Visionaries of Anshe Emet. I'm George Gould, and I am honored to serve as one of the rabbis of this fine congregation. As we begin, I want to acknowledge that Anshe Emet has taken some vital steps to increase accessibility tonight. You will notice that all live speeches will be captioned. Later in the evening, we will be privileged to watch a few videos. We have produced a written script to accompany those videos. I have those copies with me in the front row. If anyone would like a copy, we're happy to provide. What does it mean to be visionary? What do truly visionary leaders share in common? Tonight, Rabbi Michael Siegel chose a quote from Pirkei Avot, from the wisdom of our ancestors, in which the text reads, "Bamakom she'ein ish, hishtadel liot ish." In a place where there is no leader, strive to be a leader. But the word we are translating as leader in the Hebrew is ish, a man, a person. In a place where people are less than human, strive to be human. To be truly human is to choose to lead, not because it is popular, but because it is right. A true visionary examines the world around her or him with open eyes, names the challenges of our society with unrelenting honesty, and then strives to find solutions. And a true visionary does this because he or she knows that in a place where there are no leaders, in a time when humans are acting less than human, someone has to stand up. Rabbi Siegel takes the responsibility of visionary leadership incredibly seriously. Rabbi Siegel manifests his vision, his leadership, and his humanity in the manner in which he leads our congregational family. In particular, I would like to highlight one story. Rabbi Siegel has, for years, developed deep and abiding relationships with the African American community. In a city deeply segregated, he has led us in coming together. In a place where large swaths of our citizens are dehumanized, he has taught us to lead with compassion. And this spring, Rabbi Siegel's vision extended to our youth. Because he dreamed it, we were privileged to bring together 33 African American and Jewish teenagers on a trip to the South, where kids who knew nothing about each other's histories learned to come together to build a future. Because of his vision, last Sunday, I looked at a room full of young people from de facto segregated communities who now understand themselves to be essential allies, partners, and friends. Bamakom she'ein ish, hishtadel liot ish. In a community desperate for visionary leadership, Rabbi Siegel has become that leader. It is our honor tonight to celebrate other visionary leaders in this community, those who have used their ingenuity and time and talent and heart to shape the world for the better. How blessed are we to be in a community of such tremendous vision. As we kick off this evening tonight, we will begin by singing the anthems of the United States and Israel. As we turn to Hazzan Alberto Mizrahi to lead us in song, please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, a light's last streaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Kolod balevav pedima nefesh Yehudi homiya ulefate Mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia odeloveda tikvatenu hatikva bachnot alpayim liotam chofshi be'aretzenu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim liotam chofshi be'aretzenu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim.
Welcome, everyone. We are so thrilled that you are here tonight. And I have an idea. What do you think about this? This is what I've been thinking about doing. Do you know what I think we need? I've been working on a plan. These are the types of things that Michael says to me almost daily. These are the introduction to the thought processes of a man who embodies the very definition of what it is to be a visionary, a person who is able to imagine how a country, society, community will or should develop in the future, and to plan that future with imagination or wisdom. Michael Siegel is this person. I know he is this person when I ask why. Why did you choose to have multiple minyanim at Anshe Emet? Why did you add technological teaching to the synagogue's already amazing adult education program? Why do you choose to address current societal topics knowing that they will inspire conflicting debate? Why do you work to continuously improve your already robust conversion program? Because this is the way the country is changing, Michael tells me. This is the way our community is changing. This is what the synagogue needs to do, must do, to ensure we can address the needs of different communities within the larger fabric of the congregation to ensure that we create a home for anybody who walks in the synagogue's doors. This is what we do here, and this is what I have trained assistant rabbis to do when they lead their own communities across the country. And they do it quite well, I might add. My house shall be a house of prayer for all people. I know he is the person when I ask, are you sure your work with Magen Tzedek to fight the kashrut industry's ethical standards in the workplace or working with Mazon to eradicate the plague of hunger will affect real change? Are you sure that sitting in study sessions with Christian ministers, traveling with African American pastors to Israel, developing programs with churches on the south side of Chicago, creating opportunities for respectful dialogue with the Muslim community will be effective tools for building bridges? The question is not, Michael says, am I sure it will work? The answer I will give, though, is I am sure we have a responsibility to try, a moral responsibility, an ethical responsibility, a responsibility grounded by Torah, and a responsibility to carry forward the historical importance of Anshe Emet as an urban center to move these issues to the fore, to create opportunities for others to engage. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. I know he is this person when I ask how. How are you planning to carry forward the lessons on the importance of Israel, stress the importance of Israel's history and its current role in the lives of the Jewish people? Give Jewish youth the words to answer the challenges presented to them on campus. I am going to continue, Michael answers, to create opportunities for learning, such as the Hartman course, in which thoughtful and respectful conversation are possible. I will continue my work with APEC's Synagogue Initiative, which I developed. I will continue to teach about Israel from the pulpit, presenting lessons that are text-based and relevant. I will continue to do what is necessary for this to happen, because Israel is where Jewish history, Jewish peoplehood, and Jewish aspirations all come together. Go forth to the land that I will show you. And I know without asking that in addition to everything else, it is you. You are, simply put, this person. You are guided by doing for others. You are a mensch with a vision and the faith, the determination, the wisdom, the courage, and the remarkable talent to see what can be and to work to ensure that vision come to fruition. You embody the qualities of what it is to be a visionary. And so I have learned over these many years that to ask why, are you sure, how, are not the questions to ask. The question simply is, when? If not now, when? Anshe Emet is a congregation known nationally for its innovative spirit. And today, as we present the Rabbi Michael S. Siegel Visionary Award, we celebrate others with that very spirit, members of our community, and a distinguished international artist whose work reflects the inspiration and innovation that benefits our larger world. On behalf of the Anshe Emet Synagogue and our children, it is with great pride and love I introduce Rabbi Michael Siegel, the person for whom this very special Visionary Award is so aptly named.
Wow. Thank you, Dror. Your words mean a great deal to me. Thank you, Janet, for your words, for being my wife, my partner, and the love of my life. What an event What a community. I am touched and humbled to have my name attached to such an award. Thank you. One of the pivotal moments in the book of Genesis centers on the power of vision. Abraham is commanded to take his son to the place that God will reveal to him. The Torah then records, Bayom HaShlishi v'yisa Avraham et einav vayar et hamakom merachok. On the third day, Abraham looked up and saw the place far off. The question is, how did Abraham know that he had arrived at the place that God had spoken of, to Moriah, the place of vision? What did he see that told him that he was there? The Torah doesn't tell us. What we know is that Abraham took his son Isaac, and the two left the others that were traveling with them behind. And father and son walked forward to that place. Vayachu shnehem yachdav. And the two walked together. Their willingness to pursue a vision changed the world forever. Changed the world for the better. The ability to see something that others miss, and then to have the courage to pursue that vision can make all the difference. This afternoon, it is our privilege to honor remarkable people, true visionaries. Griffen Saul, a young man who honors his father's memory daily by challenging people to see those with physical challenges differently, empathically, as fully able human beings. David Broza, a legendary musician who represents the best of the heart, soul, and culture of the people of Israel. He has reached across borders and barbed wire to encourage people to see what is possible through music and engagement. David Broza's vision of what can be allows people the world over to believe that despite it all, Yeh Tov, all will be good. And then there is Howard and Judy Tullman. I think of those words used to describe Abraham and Isaac. Vayachu shnehem yachdav. And the two walked together. That image of walking together in love and support of one another while following dreams and visions is a fitting description of the two of you, Howard and Judy. So many of us have been enriched by your visions in the two-legged realm and in the four-legged realm as well. It is a special honor to acknowledge Howard and Judy as the first recipients of this Visionary Award. They are people who have been such dear and wonderful friends of me and Janet, our children, our family. How appropriate as well, because Judy and Howard are emblematic of what makes Anshe Emet the special community that it is. They came into the Anshe Emet orbit on a trip to Israel a long time ago now. Judy brought her deep concern for others and her passion for social justice to bear and helped to create the Naaseh Committee, which makes such a difference in our community and beyond. Her love of animals has made her one of the pillars of Paws. An outspoken advocate, Judy has a deep love of animals that borders on the spiritual, and a vision of how those with 4 legs should be treated, which has made the world a better and safer place for pets and animals. Judy possesses a fierce love of all things Jewish and a passion for the state of Israel. Our Friday morning Torah class would not be the same without you, Judy. Judy's warmth, her humor, her stories are always a delight. Judy, you see the world through your own wonderful eyes, and it never fails to bring a smile to people's faces. You are a community builder of the first order. Judy has made Anshe Emet her second home, and as a result, Anshe Emet is a warmer, more welcoming place. Howard, you are a choseh, a true visionary. You possess a deep appreciation for art and beauty. It seems that wherever you cast your eyes, you're able to see the possibilities which others easily miss. Tracking your career offers a primer on creativity, hard work, and entrepreneurship. From insurance to video games to the recreation of a culinary school to 1871, which under your leadership is now ranked first in the world on the global list of top university-affiliated business incubators. What is the secret of Howard Tullman's success? To answer that question, I will turn to the source. I will quote Howard. Every business starts with a dream. But if the dream is about making money, you're not going anywhere. If it's about making a difference, then the sky is the limit. Herein lies the source of Howard's vision, Howard's wisdom. Considering the work that Howard has done at the Diet School, where he has been teaching 29th graders in Washington Park on what it takes to be an entrepreneur in the 21st century, he's teaching young people to see beyond their environment, to appreciate the fact that dreams are only fulfilled through hard work and a willingness to fail well, to fail up without fear. We at Anshe Emet have been the recipients of what you call sweat equity, and your vision as well. Your leadership of the congregation, both as an officer and as chair of our endowment fund, has made our congregation stronger and better. And on a personal level, Howard, you have impacted my own rabbinate as a confidant, as a mentor, and as an official timekeeper whenever I speak. With Howard and Judy's support, we look forward to creating a technology center to allow our community to be more connected with members and beyond. While I have congratulatory letters from Senate President and State Senator John J. Cullerton, U.S. Senator Dick Durbin, and Congressman Mike Quigley, and a lifetime resolution from the Illinois House of Representatives put forth by Representative Sarah Feigenholtz, as I call Howard and Judy forward to receive their award, it is with the hope and prayer that they will be blessed to vayelchu shnehem yachdav, to walk together for many years to come in good health, in good humor, fulfilling new visions along the way. We have the gift of the letters and resolution, but we also have this, a gift to the two of you. It's a kaleidoscope made by an Israeli artist by the name of Roy, who has inscribed them in your honor to continue to see new visions, new light. Thank you.
Am I supposed to speak? First of all, thank you for coming. I have learned much from Rabbi Siegel, especially the taking the first step forward and showing up counts. Of course, I must thank Mimi Weisberg for her amazing organizing skills for putting this beautiful evening together. And the great committee at her side. Having served on many committees myself, I know how much it means. I am completely overwhelmed and touched by this honor from Anshe Emet and from my dear friend and most brilliant and caring Rabbi, Michael Siegel, and my beloved friend, his wife, Janet. As a city girl through and through, I will say that Michael has created an urban, welcoming world of services, activities, speakers, outreach, classes, events for Jews and non-Jews, of course. I took my first class at Anshe Emet with Michael 30 years ago and still go every Friday morning, as well as many other learning opportunities. So many things that I had never understood have been made clear. Anshe Emet is also a conduit of Israeli connections. Thanks to Michael, Howard and I have traveled to Israel most happily with the Siegels and our Anshe Emet family, as well as teaching trips alone with Howard. Without Michael, we would never have had the same experience. I cannot put into words how much we love Israel. It is deep in my soul, as are all things Jewish. At 5, I went to Anshe Emet Sunday School and returned years later as Judy Tullman. It has filled my heart with love, happiness, friendship, tears of loss, tears of joy, and always prayers for my wonderful stepdaughters, Thea and Jamie, and our beautiful granddaughters, Maddie, Posey, Olivia, and Ada. Roz Lax and I have done some crazy projects in the early years of social action. Actually, some are unreleased Seinfeld episodes. And lastly, I would like to dedicate this esteemed honor to my beloved Aunt Ray, who carried her 9-month-old baby sister, our mother Gert, on the boat from Russia. She had no children of her own and watched over me always and loved me quietly. She never thought I would keep kosher, make chicken soup, or receive such an honor. And lastly, we would all love to thank David Broza, a gift from Israel to the world.
Unaccustomed as I am to waiting, first I want to congratulate Griffen, who is an example for generations to come. And I want to thank Michael and Janet. I want to thank everyone who's here today. But it's my job to try and follow Judy, which I don't intend to do. So I'm going to speak and introduce David Broza, who is here, who is a visionary, who has been a friend for more than a decade. And I've had the chance to work with him in a number of different environments. He's a mensch. He's a living example of the ability to bring disparate organizations together and to try and have a vision that is greater than the moment, but a vision of the future that can be a better place. And so he was gracious enough to accept this honor and also to come and join us. And he'll be back, and I want to recommend to everyone that on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, he'll be at the Harris Theater to perform with a very amazing group of his friends and musicians. And I hope you'll have the opportunity to see that. It's really an astonishing collaboration with Palestinian artists and all kinds of different performers. And so without further ado, I want to bring David up and give him his award and then prevail upon him to maybe perform for us for a moment or two.
You're the photo man. You're the photo. All right.
Say a few words and then I'll hold this.
I'll do it with my guitar. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Rabbi Siegel. Thank you, congregation. Maybe my first congregation outside of Israel. I'm not one to be a member of any real congregation, but you just sitting here through this past half hour, I've felt as if I'm becoming part of something which was part of my vision when I started my career as a musician in Israel 40 years ago. And I remember I didn't know I would become a successful artist or musician. I just played. And once in a while I'd play for young Judea kids who would come to Israel, and there'd be a promoter who would call me and say, "You sing some songs in English too, don't you?" And at the time I hadn't even written one song, so I used to sing Paul Simon, Bob Dylan, and stuff. And sure, I sing a few songs in English, and I'd sing to them. And suddenly I had this idea that perhaps I could travel around the world once I have my own music and continue introducing the Hebrew language and through music. And if it's not just the language, it could also be just the tradition of the way we write songs in Israel, which is somewhat different than what you would write in the United States for sure, and in the whole world of rock and roll and folk music. It's a little different in Israel. And the difference being is that we really rely a lot on poetry, on very deep poetry in many cases. At least that was when I started my career. And so I had this vision in those days that perhaps I could reach every corner of the world as an Israeli artist. And it seems like I have. And here from the Mideast straight into the Midwest, and I'm here in this very intimate congregation evening of honoring the Tullmans. And by the way, my real relationship with Howard started kind of mysteriously when I'd receive almost every morning at about 5:30 or 6 in the morning this long email of somebody who's waking up and thinking about things that the world should know about. And I was one of those people in the world, until one day I received an invitation to come and lecture in his school, which was before 1871. And the idea was to talk about my work in languages, in Hebrew, English, and Spanish, which are my fluent languages. So I just want to thank Howard for actually introducing me to his world and empowering me through his vision with Experiencia, which is one of the most amazing projects that he's established in Chicago. And I have a dream to one day bring it to the Middle East. I know it will change a lot of things for young kids, Israeli and Palestinian. Anyway, I just want to say thank you from deep in my heart. And I'm honored to be here. And Howard called me actually one morning a few weeks ago, months ago, and said, I'm being honored and we would like to honor you, and would you come? And I said, sure. And when I put the phone down, I said, how can I don't even know if I'm available, but I'll be anyway. And since then, we worked it out, so I am. So as a matter of fact, right after here, I've got to go back to New York to rehearse for the show on Wednesday here. And when I asked Howard, what should I play tonight? He asked me for a song which I haven't played in a long, long time, but is a milestone in my work here in the United States. He asked me to sing a poem of Elizabeth Bishop, laureate poet from the 70s. And she has a poem that is iconic and has been studied by many scholars and has been rated as one of the most important poems to be published in the 20th century in America. I had no idea of all this great honor that this poem would bring along, because I just loved reading it. And I wrote the music to it so that everybody could sing it. And it's called One Art as a poem. You can look it up. But the way I sing it, it's The Art of Losing. And I will try to sing it as clearly as possible so you can follow these wonderful words. art of losing isn't too hard to master. So many things seem filled with intent to be lost. Oh, the art of losing isn't too hard to master. Their loss is no disaster. Lose something deep in your heart. Accept the fluster of lost door keys. Accept the hour badly spent. Lose something faster and farther. Lose a year's lament. Lose a day's content. Oh, the art of losing isn't too hard to master. So many things seem filled with intent to be lost. Oh, the art of losing isn't too hard to master. Their loss is no disaster. Lose something deep in your heart. A house, a city, a continent, some realms, 2 rivers, names of places you went. Lose ground where your feet once stood firm. Lose what falls from the sky. Lose your prayers in reply. Oh, the art of losing isn't too hard to master. So many things seem filled with intent to be lost. Oh, the art of losing isn't too hard to master. Their loss in no disaster. Even losing you, I shan't deny. It's evident the art of losing isn't too hard to master. Though we may look, sing it, though we may look like disaster. Seem filled with intent to be lost. Oh, the art of losing isn't too hard to master. They're lost in no disaster. Oh, they're lost in no disaster. Oh, no disaster. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then I asked Howard, what else should I sing? This is all about Howard. Well, the Tullmans are really a power couple. There we go. Totally. And he said, why don't you sing your first song? The first song I wrote. I said, of course, it's called Yeh Tov. It's the first song I wrote back in 1977, just over 40 years ago. Again, not knowing that this is a song that would set me off in my career. And I've been singing it almost every day since then. Sometimes more than once a day. Sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 times, honestly. And I never tire of it. It's something like a prayer that in every moment that you turn to it, it comes with a new meaning and a new forceful and encouragement and inspiring feeling. And so I hope I can inspire you tonight when I sing it. So it's called Things Will Be Better, יהיה טוב. אני מביט מהחלום וזה עושה לי די עצוב. האביב חזר עבר, מי יודע אם ישוב. הליצן היה למלך, הנביא נהיה ליצן, ושכחתי את הדרך, אבל אני עוד כאן, ויהיה טוב, כן. לפעמים אני נשבע, אז הלילה, הלילה, איתך אני נשאר. ילדים לובשים כנפיים ועפים אל הצבא, ואחרי שנתיים הם חוזרים ללא תשובה. אנשים חיים במתח, מחפשים סיבה לנשום, ובין שנאה לרצח מדברים על השלום. ויהיה טוב, כן. לפעמים אני נשבע, אז הלילה, הלילה, איתך אני נשאר. כן, שם למעלה בשמיים עננים יודעים לעוף, ואני מביט למעלה ורואה מטוס חטוף. ממשלה של גנרלים מחלקת את הנוף לשלהם ולשלנו, ולא רואים את הסוף. אוי, למה נשיא מצרים, איך שמחתי לקראתו, פירמידות בעיניים ושלום במקטרתו, ואמרנו היי בוא נשלימה ונחיה כמו אחים. ואז הוא אמר קדימה, רק תצאו מהשטחים, ויהיה טוב, יהיה טוב, כן. לפעמים אני נשבע, אז הלילה, הלילה, איתך אני נשאר. So as I said, this song was written 40 years ago. It's literally upon the arrival of President Anwar Sadat of Egypt to Israel for the first time. And my friend, Israeli poet Jonathan Geffen, was the one who wrote the lyrics. And we were sitting watching this amazing moment on television. And he was feverishly writing this poem and then handed it to me. I was not prepared for this. And he commanded that I write music to it. And I'd never written anything before. And he gave me 2 days. As I stayed on that sofa and until I finished. And then we performed with it and recorded it. And you know, since then, almost every year, I get a call from Jonathan. We talk almost every day, but I get this call, a particular call once or so a year. And he says that he's written a new verse and he dictates it to me and demands that I add it to the song. So it's 40 years. I only sang the first 4 verses. So, and I know this is an award night and I still have to catch a plane, but I just see. I'm not going to sing all the verses, but I'll sing one particular that we added in 1995 upon the signing of the peace agreement with Jordan And this one I will translate to you. It says that we shall learn to live together under the olive trees. And that children will grow up knowing no more wars, no terror, and no frontiers. And that fresh new grass will grow over the graveyards for love and peace. For after 100 years of war, we haven't and will not lose hope. עוד נלמד לחיות ביחד. בחורשות עצי זיתים. ילדים יחיו בלי פחד, בלי גבולות, בלי מקלטים. על קברים יפרח הכסף לשלום ואהבה. 100 שנים של חן ועוד לא אבדה התקווה. ויהיה טוב, כן, לפעמים אני נשבר. אז הלילה, הלילה, איתך אני נשאר.
Thank you. תודה רבה.
Griffen Saul is Anshe Emet's inaugural recipient of Anshe Emet's Young Leadership Award of Light. Griffen is the founder and CEO of We Are Able, an organization that raises awareness for people with disabilities. Griffen was recently accepted into the Tisch Scholars Program at Tufts University, and he is the first Tufts student to be nominated for a national cohort of community-committed students as a 2018 Newman Civic Fellow. For a young man, Griffen, you have already accomplished so much. Griffen, in addition to your efforts, your accomplishments, I want everyone to learn a brief tidbit about your Hebrew name, Jonah. Jonah, or the Hebrew Yonah, means a dove. Now, many assume that based on the Noah and the flood story, that the dove is a symbol of peace. And that's not entirely true. Because in the story of Noah, the olive branch is actually the symbol of peace. The Yonah, the dove, is the messenger of peace. Griffen, your parents, Debbie and Brad, may his memory be for a blessing, could not have chosen a more perfect name for you. Because you, Griffen, are a Yonah. You are a messenger of peace. You founded We Are Able because you saw what it was like when people judged your father based on his physical condition rather than the content of his character. You, Griffen, have worked tirelessly to raise awareness, to spread curricula through schools and corporations, to educate others about treating each and every person with dignity. You, Griffen, you, Yonah, are a worthy recipient of the Young Leadership Award of Light, or as we call it in Hebrew, a person who is Meir Panim BaTorah. Meir Panim BaTorah is a rabbinic phrase, and it describes a person who shines the light of Torah with them everywhere that they go. We are so honored to have you, Griffen, as our inaugural recipient of Anshe Emet's Young Leadership Award of Light.
I need to start by thanking Anshe Emet. From a young age, they helped instill the value of tikkun olam, repairing the world, into my life. And it's the sense of community that they gave to my family and I through both good and bad times that I'm eternally grateful. None of us would be here today without our mothers, so I need to give a special thanks to her. She took on a responsibility of raising 3 kids and caring for my dad with such grace and humility, and I don't know where I would be without her today, so thank you, Mom. This award is not just for me. It's for every young person raising their voice for injustice in their communities. It's validation of the fact that one voice can change a room. No matter the obstacles, we are all able to define our fate. We are all able to speak up for injustice when we see it, and we are all able to be the change we want to see in the world. I know my dad is smiling down on me tonight. Thank you all very much.
We are blessed to be part of a remarkable community. May I have one more round of applause for our visionaries. As the sun sets, I am reminded that it is Rosh Chodesh today. It's the new month of Iyar. And the new month is measured when the cycle of the moon begins and there's just a sliver of light in the sky. One might think that you should bless the moon when the moon is full and the light is illuminated, the sky is illuminated by the moon's light. But I think there's a lesson there. Lesson is that true greatness comes in having the vision to see a darkened moon and believe that the light is yet to come. In that sense, I have a list of visionaries to thank before we close. People who saw what this event could be, who saw the light before it was uncovered, and worked so hard to ensure the success of this celebration. First, the co-chairs of the event, Susan Rakoff-Beddoes, Irene Kamener, Lori Chayton, Amanda Hammerman, Kathy Kahn, Barbara Cantro, Nancy Cohen, Gary Porton, Adam Rubenfire, Debbie Saul, Janet Siegel, Penny Silverman, Meredith Schwartz, and Michelle Sackheim-Wine. In addition, I want to thank the honorary committee and the many volunteers. Through your hard work and dedication, the light shone brightly on a dark and rainy day. I'd like to thank our clergy and the remarkable staff of the Anshe Emet Synagogue for all that they did to make this night a success. I want to thank our lay leadership, led by our president, Steve Silk, for all of their support. And finally, a special, deep, heartfelt thank you to Mimi Weisberg. In truth, Mimi is the visionary of the Visionaries of Anshe Emet. Thank you all for coming. Please exit through the doors to your right to the Kochek and back to Randolph Street. And finally, a Guten Chodesh. Happy Rosh Chodesh.